Do you know Mickey Rourke?
I've met him twice.
Tell him to settle down. Just calm down, dude.
He seemed like a cool cat. He
does seem like a good guy, right?
Yeah,
just calm down.
Yeah, he's
whatever you're doing, don't do that anymore. Just relax.
What a fucking actor, though. The Wrestler was like one of my favorite movies. I thought that was
How about Pope
good.
of Greenwich Village, man? I mean, go back to some of his old shit. Angel Heart.
Yeah.
It's a bad motherfucker. I mean,
it's good. The Wrestler just seems so authentic. I don't know. It just, I just like that movie a lot.
Well, it was perfect for him at the time too, because he was an older guy, and and he was kind of fucked up on his own.
He looked the part.
Yeah.
It was just like, man.
He was perfect for it.
Yeah.
Now, he's a fucking amazing actor, and people forget that because he's kind of a freak now. Yeah. But if you go back to his earlier stuff and you see like how good he was in Diner, I mean, he's a fucking, he was amazing. He was amazing. But yeah, whatever he's doing, don't do that anymore. But I know Peyton Manning went down there to Germany, and
so now let me ask you: is that stuff banned in professional sports?
Regenikine?
No. Not the healing stuff. I'm talking about just like stem cell infusions.
No, not yet.
Oh wow!
But could be soon. I mean, it really
I don't
depends.
know how you. I mean, I don't know if you could test for that. I mean, it's like because the thing. What I've been told is you cannot tell the difference between a regular, like a stem cell from you or a stem cell from me or whatever. If it's been scrubbed and thin your system, I mean, it's like they said to me, a stem cell is a stem cell. But
well, I pay very close attention to the latest cutting edge research for doping because of the UFC, and because I'm friends with Jeff Nowitzki, who's the guy who busted Lance Armstrong, who's of course the guy who works for the UFC now, and he and I talk all the time. And it's really fucking interesting how these people who are trying to get ahead are like they're way ahead of the people that are trying to detect it.
Yeah.
So like now they're developing testosterone from animals, which is interesting because you're seeing people that are taking testosterone, it's exogenous testosterone, but it used to be that they were getting it from wild yams. So what they would do is they would do carbon isotope tests, and they would be able to detect that the testosterone inside of your body is not from a biological, it's not from an animal. The testosterone is actually coming from a yam. There's a Mexican wild yam. It's really interesting.
wow.
But now they're figuring out a way to extract it from animals, at least theoretically. So Nowitzki says it hasn't been proven yet, but they're pretty sure. So what they're doing now is they're taking people's piss and blood, and then they freeze it, and they hold on to it for 8 years. So the idea is that 8 years from now, they're going to find out like new detection methods, and they're using those at the Olympics now, which is why 2 Russian Olympic gold medalists in wrestling got their medals taken away from 2008.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and they haven't even gone to 2012 yet. So there's 2012, 2016. I mean, there's these guys are going to get fucked over for sure. But Russia has an extensive state-sponsored anti-doping agency.
Yeah, well, they also are pretty big advocates of. I mean, they were the ones that started it.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
I mean, like back in the powerlifting.
These Germans too, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they started it, but also what's interesting is the scientists that were involved in the program, they all got whacked. They're killing these motherfuckers left and right. Because all the people that know, when one guy blew the whistle, one of the Russian anti-doping guys blew the whistle, apparently they just started icing these motherfuckers.
Wow.
To see if you can pull that up, Jamie, like how many Russian anti-doping scientists have been murdered.
Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, they don't fuck around over there, man.
They don't fuck around.
And like, and from what I've heard, like Putin's like really into the sports too. So he's like,
oh yeah, he's into fighting. He loves Fedor.
Yeah.
Fedor Emilianenko. Yeah.
Whatever happened to that guy?
Motherfucker time got him, and Jesus got him. He got super into Jesus.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he changed, his body changed. I don't know, it's indicative of his training methods.
Well, he never really had much of a body on him. He
always
looked like a
fat.
guy that, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's so strange to me when you see guys like him, or especially guys like Country Nelson. It's like, this guy train, like, I just don't understand how you could train all the time and look like it's just like so crazy to me, right? Like,
I know, especially Roy, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, big country. Yeah, it's like,
well, Roy, he wears it like a badge of courage too. And
yeah,
I think Roy, if Roy got super disciplined and lost a ton of weight, he would be fighting at 185 pounds and he would be knocking motherfuckers to the moon.
He'd be invincible with that fucking chin that this guy's been getting cracked. He like the big guys can't knock him out. How the fuck are the little guys, right?
Well,
like,
unfortunately, his chin started to fail him in recent years. I mean, a couple. Mark Hunt knocked him out.
Yeah, but that's just kind of like time, right? But I'm just saying, like, you know, genetically, the guy was like blessed with, like, you know,
the freakiest chin of all time.
Crazy, right? So it's like I never understood how you could train that much, because I mean, obviously it's genetics, but I just remember, you know, when I was in the military, like going through, and I would eat like pizzas, I would eat butter. I mean, I was trying to like gain fat because it was so fucking cold in this water,
right?
And I just couldn't do it.
Yeah.
You know, like, granted, we were probably training more hours, but like, fuck, I don't know. I mean, a lot of these, you know, UFC guys that I know, they train 6 hours a day. I mean, it's just like,
yeah, I don't know what Roy eats, but it's not good. Whatever it is. Fuck. It's most likely a lot of carbs. Most likely he's just taking in a lot of sugar, a lot of carbs, and his body doesn't know what to do with it, and it just.
He must just have a slow metabolism. I don't know.
Could be. I don't know. I mean, he certainly trains hard. He's got endurance. I mean, Roy doesn't gas out. I mean, he gets tired like everybody else does, but it's not like a fatigue issue.
Yeah, no, it's.
What's crazy is I knew Roy way back in the day, and Roy was known as being like a really good grappler. He was a Brazilian jiu-jitsu competitor. I knew him before he ever did MMA. And when he did MMA, my thought was, oh, well, you're going to see some high-level grappling from this guy. This guy's like a stud on the mat. Nope. Just started bombing guys out.
On the ground, yeah.
Hardly ever. Well, the one time we really see his jiu-jitsu was in the Andrei Arlovsky fight when he's fighting in Elite XC. Took Arlovsky down, had him in side control, but Elite XC they were really corrupt. And they had this weird thing where if you were on the ground for more than 15 seconds, they'd stand you up. Yeah. So he's on the ground, inside control with a double wrist lock, going for a Kimura on Arlovsky, and they stand him up. And he wound up getting stopped by Arlovsky. But that was
so crazy.
But that was that, you know, they were making Kimbo Slice their poster boy, and it was like Gary Shaw was promoting it. And he was a boxing guy, and he had his own idea about how to promote it, and they weren't MMA friendly. It was just they wanted excitement. They didn't really want to promote like in a pure sense of the sport, you know. So it was the whole thing was kind of fucked. But
I remember I saw Kimbo. I was down in Miami and I saw one of his fights or whatever, and they had like some alternate guy like come in off the couch, and this guy had knocked him out in like
Seth Petrozelli.
10 seconds. It was just so crazy.
That was a bad fight. They should have never taken that fight. Yeah. Seth Petrozelli is very good, and when I saw that, I knew that Kimbo was a tough guy. He was a really good guy too. Yeah. Unfortunately, he passed away recently, which is kind of fucked up because he had a bad heart and he was scheduled for another fight.
Did they ever figure out what it was? It was just
bad heart. He had some congenital heart defect. You know, I mean, I don't know if it was genetic. I don't know if it was something that happened along the way. I don't know, but he was a really good guy, like pretty much universally loved. Really good guy.
His story is so crazy. Like, I heard the guy like basically almost like walked onto the football team.
Yeah,
like, so nuts. Like, living on the streets like.
Yeah, I mean, just a tough guy, knew how to punch, and you know, when I found out about him, like everybody else did through these YouTube videos. Yeah. Did you ever see when he fought Sean Gannon?
I don't.
Sean Gannon was a cop.
Oh yes, yeah, the white guy, right?
Yeah,
the tall, big white guy.
See if you find that in Sean Gannon versus Kimbo Slice. They had a dojo war.
Yeah,
and he was a cop in Massachusetts, and he got in trouble for beating up Kimbo, and like he got suspended, I think, from the police force. Yeah, there he is right there. This is a crazy fight, man.
Yeah,
they just had this brawl in the middle of this dojo. I think Kenny Florian was there, and people were posted. This was on mixedmartialarts.com, which is the greatest martial arts website on the internet. Back in the day, we all watched this shit live. I don't remember if we had to pay for it. It was streaming on some website or something like that.
These guys are banging it out. I like it.
Bare knuckle.
I remember this. I definitely remember being like, fuck, this guy could fucking throw some punches.
Oh, yeah. Well,
the first time he got tested, right?
Yeah. Sean Gannon is a tough motherfucker. Yeah. I mean, tough as hell. Longtime cop, real martial artist, had a bunch of pro fights. And there was like all these like discrepancies about the rules because he's got him in a standing guillotine, and they're trying to break it up, and there's all you got to let go and all this different shit.
Yeah.
So he lets go, and then it winds up going to the ground. Like it was all stacked against Gannon.
Yeah.
Because you know they didn't want Kimbo to get submitted.
Yeah. Nobody wanted the legend to die, right?
Yeah, and you know Gannon's got a hold of this guillotine. He doesn't want to let it go, and then Kimbo winds up getting him down on the ground. So then Kimbo's ground and pounding him. See, like this is supposed to be illegal too. You're not supposed to be able to do this. But Gannon had a fucking head like a fire hydrant, and it just super game and great endurance. And so Kimbo's used to taking these guys out, and he couldn't take Gannon out. And Gannon eventually beat him down. And they had some crazy nonsense like a 30 count. Like when he goes down, you count to 30 before you get back up. I'm not kidding.
Yeah,
and he beat it once. He beat it once, and then Gannon got him, knocked him down again. But like you could see Kimbo starting to get tired, and that was the big thing. But so he goes from this and then starts fighting in Elite XC and has some great fights, man. Some really good fights. The James Thompson fight was kind of controversial as well. But I knew him as like a pretty tough, I mean, really tough. But as far as like professional skill set, you know, he wasn't like at the elite level. And so when he fought Petrozelli, I was like, oh my God, he's going to get fucked up. Like, this is a terrible fight for him. Petrozelli's like, he's a world-class fighter. And that happened real quick.
Yeah. No, I remember I was like front row for that thing.